From our studios at Riley High School, it's time for Michiana's #1 student talk show, Buzz in the Bend.
Good morning, Michiana. I'm Alex Almanza.
I'm Cecilly Ball.
And I'm John Janiak.
And welcome to Buzz in the Bend, Michiana's only morning talk show run by students. How are you guys feeling today?
I'm pretty good.
I'm so glad that we're back in school, especially with all the crazy weather that we've had.
Oh, yeah.
2 weeks ago was kind of like our second winter break.
Yeah, it kind of was, honestly.
Right. Schools are all around Michigan were closed, and it started off like a 2-hour delay, and then started with
Yeah, I noticed that
it was
too.
way too much for me. President Trump plans to sign a border security compromise and declare a national emergency in order to get funding for a border wall. I heard last night that they did make a deal, so tensions have gone a little less in Washington, D.C. How do you feel about that? How do you feel Trump is going with this border wall?
Honestly, I think it's actually really like a bad idea for the fact that he's trying to build a border wall between Mexico and the United States because, one, from what I've heard, the fact that the wall is not only going to be very big and long, and it's also, I think it's supposed to be made out of like, I forgot what it was supposed to be made out of.
It's massive. I mean, in terms of physical, it's going to be massive. It's going to make a big dent in our government with the money.
Yeah, because I've heard that it was supposed to cost probably about like $36 billion at the very most with building the border wall, and I just really don't think it's actually going to do anything good for us, other than it's just going to kind of ruin our economy a bit.
So on Thursday, senators ultimately voted 82-16 to pass it after reassurances of the president's position from Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. Trump will accept far less than he originally demanded for the $5 billion barrier. $5 billion? That's a lot.
Okay.
So we've been recently looking at a lot of movies that have been coming out. Disney is coming out with a lot of new movies this year.
Speaking of cold weather, actually Frozen 2, the sequel, the one we've all been waiting for. 6 years after their mega successful Frozen hits theaters, Disney dropped their first trailer to the sequel. And the teaser to the upcoming animated film shows Elsa plunging into a dark and stormy ocean while trying to turn it into ice. So, I mean, that's pretty exciting.
6 years. 6 years ago this came out.
It's been a long time.
6 years, and now they're making a second season. Or I'm saying
it feels like 2 years ago they just made the Frozen movie.
It does. To me, I know how that feels. That does kind of feel like it's not really as old as it actually is.
I know, it's crazy.
It seems forever that the Let It Go has been on repeat on the brains of 4-year-olds.
I mean, it's been on my brain too, and I'm not even 4 years old. So.
And with my opinion on part twos, usually movies that are, movies that end up being really successful.
Yeah.
They usually have a part two, and sometimes it's because of the money. It's money. It's the money. So, I mean, just because it's Disney, I could see the part two being a pretty good movie, but I'm not putting my hopes on it. I'm not putting my hopes really too high on that.
Yeah.
Right. So, John, I heard that IUSB is doing something with dental hygiene and health link. Why don't you tell us about that?
Oh, right, yeah. Now that I think about it, I do remember that the IUSB School of Dental Hygiene, Health Link, and our team of Southland School nurses have actually been teamed up to provide no-cost sealants, oral exams, dental cleanings, and more to uninsured or underinsured children who are at the ages of 18 and younger in our community. And you can be able to join them on Monday, the 18th of February from 1 to 7 p.m. And you can be able to help your child become enlightened on the importance of oral hygiene. So.
And this is free. This is a free event.
Yeah, this is completely free, and it's going to be happening on Monday, the 18th of February, 1 to 7. And if you feel like as if your child has a little bit of some problems with their oral hygiene, take them over there. It's for free.
Yeah, sealants, oral exams, those are pretty expensive.
Oh, definitely. Costing hundreds of dollars.
Right. Join the South Bend Alumni Association this weekend for the series of events honoring the legacy of Central High School. Friday is a reception for Central alums to mingle and a night at Adams versus Riley basketball game at Adams High School. Both teams will be wearing authentic Central uniforms, and the bands will play the Central fight song. On Saturday is a luncheon at the History Museum, followed by a special program in the auditorium and a panel discussion with the Central alums. Visit www.southbendalumni.com for more information. I'm excited for that game.
Oh yeah, me
They're
too.
wearing
man.
authentic.
Well, sounds real nice.
Right.
You know, I'm the only Adams person in this group, so you know,
Right.
we'll
Right.
see the competition. You know.
And so you've heard a lot about it. I've just heard about it.
Yeah, I just heard about it too, but like, you know, Adams and Riley games get very intense, so
Yeah. I'm definitely attending tonight.
yeah.
You attending now?
I don't know. Maybe I might think about attending. I'm not
It's
really
all right.
sure.
So we've got obviously there's been a lot of controversy with an American Boy Esquire. How's that been going
Yes,
recently?
the title is The Life of an American Boy at 17, and it follows Ryan Morgan, and according to the cover, what it's like to grow up white, middle class, and male in the era of social media, school shootings, toxic masculinity, the Me Too movement, and a divided country. And several social media users were outraged by the magazine. That they were to release a story that highlights white males during Black History Month. And many people pointed out that the profile gives a voice to a subject that's often represented rather than one that's underrepresented.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of controversy with that.
Yeah.
What's your stance on that?
I think that, I don't know, maybe the time that they brought it up was definitely, they probably should have thought about the fact that it is Black History Month. I don't have a
Right.
problem with it because I understand what they were trying to do. Like, they're trying to show different perspectives, you know, so I see where they're coming from, and I think that's fine, but like doing it at a time like this is a little, like...
Right.
being
And mistakes
unsensitive.
do happen, but this is something that, you know, it should have gotten a lot of
Yeah,
attention.
I
mean,
think so.
when you're doing when you're on a topic such as Black History Month, you're celebrating Black history. You're celebrating,
Yeah.
you know, Black artists, Black politicians. So things like this, you know, obviously, I can see why it outrages people.
Yeah, it's a little tone deaf, I think.
Yeah, and I think everyone has everyone has a voice. They're able to have an input on this, and I guess each side has its own, its own good side to the story, right?
Yeah.
So February is CTE month. Tell us about how's that
Oh,
going?
you're right. CTE month. I forgot about that. Well, since it is February and since CTE month has started, I'm pretty sure a lot of you have already wondering what exactly is CTE? Well, CTE, or what's more preferably known as Career and Technical Education, it's a program that prepares students for high wage, high demand jobs or careers, and it covers many different fields, including healthcare, information technology, basically just everything that's actually important in our modern day society, like everything that you could ever possibly think of, like hospitality and management and just many other things. And CTE, it encompasses many different types of education, from classroom learning to certification programs, and then to work-based learning opportunities that you can be able to find outside of the classroom.
Right. And one thing that's highlighted is hands-on experience, of course.
Oh yeah.
Hands-on experience is
Yeah.
a big deal, especially with students. Students learn best with hands-on experience. So it's no surprise that getting that experience eventually gets you to higher paying jobs, high demand jobs.
Oh, of course.
Especially our very own audio video
Yeah.
production class.
Mhm.
Yes, so things like that.
Oh yeah.
Well, coming up next, Shane Inez is in our studios with us, so we'll be giving him an interview. Also, we want to thank the Culinary Arts class. Culinary Arts is a very interesting CTE class,
Really?
and I think you know my food.
Oh
Of
yeah.
course, everyone loves food.
Yeah, food. That'll be up next. Thank you for joining us. We'll be right back.
It's a 2-year program. First year we teach introduction to cooking and food safety. Second year is introduction to baking and nutrition. Get dual credit through Ivy Tech, in total 11 credit hours. We learn how to cook like you're going to go into the restaurant industry.
We cook, clean, and put away everything we use, obviously. It's our kitchen, we have to take care of it. On weekly basis, we have a cook day, a prep day, a study day, and a dish day. Sometimes, if we're not doing anything that week, we can bring a recipe to him and be like, we want to cook this, and then he'll let us do it. First year was mostly cooking and learning the basics, like knife skills and parts of meat that we needed to identify. This year is more baking.
It allows me to get some dual credit. It gives me a jump start so that I don't go into any culinary school blindly, and that it'll just go a lot smoother.
Well, every week we have a specific recipe that we're supposed to make. Last year, Culinary 1, it was just basic meals. This year it's pastries, so like today we're doing blueberry muffins and banana bread. The environment is very fun to work in. You learn a lot. It's also strict in the sense where you have to do what you're told, but you're able to learn through it at the same time.
I'm looking at attending the Culinary Institute of Michigan at Baker College.
I've always loved cooking, so when I realized that there was a class for it, I did everything I can to get in this class.
Good morning, Michiana. Welcome back to Buzz in the Bend. I'm Alex Almanza.
I'm Cecilly Ball.
And I'm John Janiak.
And here in our studios, we have a very special guest with us. He's one of many running for South Bend Mayor, Mr. Shane Inez. Mr. Shane Inez, how are you doing?
I'm great. I'm alive. I'm winning. I'm well. Yep.
Great. So, how do you? I read that you were. Yes, I know. I read that you're running. You are running for mayor, but you also had some experience in the Army. Is that correct?
Yeah. So when I was 17, I wanted to serve. Right. I was too young to be a police officer, so I looked to the Indiana National Guard, right? That component of the U.S. Army. Enlisted in 2016. I'm still in, but I'm on like a medical thing, so I can't do anything. But I still have rank. I still get paid. So.
Right. So, and you're a very interesting candidate. From what I understand.
Most interesting candidate.
From what I understand, you run your own phone store, right?
Right.
And
one of the businesses I run is the phone store.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just like a chain of different.
Yeah. So we're a retailer of a national company.
Now, with all this experience, how do you plan to translate that into mayoral office?
Well, I mean, so it's one of the businesses, right?
Right.
I mean, I'm like, what do they call it? A serial entrepreneur now. Multiple projects, multiple businesses. I'm getting into like real estate investment now, so I have some pending deals. Not in South Bend, they're in Atlanta, so there's no conflict of interest. But I say that to say because of so much that I've accomplished in a short period of time that I've been on this earth has been fairly decent. I mean, it's amazing,
and
right?
You're young.
And I'm young, right? So that kind of ambition mixed with innovation, mixed with drive, right?
Right.
Is kind of what we need to take South Bend to the next level.
Right. And a lot of people, a lot of people in our community, they have a lot of, they have say in different problems that they have. The north side might not be the same as the south side or the east side. One problem that I've seen recently is a lot of people in our community say that we have a lot of road problems, such as potholes, and that's been an obvious problem that we have in South Bend. Especially
I can't
during
cuss
the
on the
winter.
show, but fix the roads, basically. Fix the roads.
How would you mitigate those concerns or change the situation?
Number one, right, we're only spending like $1 million a year to fix roads.
Right.
Right. We're only repairing about 25 miles of road, but we have 80 miles of road that are level 4 or worse that need to be repaired. Like, so we have a good substantial amount of roads that need to be repaired. Right.
Right.
We can't continue to spend only $1 million for road resurfacing. We have to spend more money. Fix the roads. It's very simple.
Right. And if someone came to you with a proposal to build a new piece of public infrastructure in our city, such as a road, maybe even a new bridge, how would you evaluate whether that project would be worth implementing?
How many jobs it creates? What's the value that it adds to the city? Right. And who's wanting to build these infrastructure projects, right? And what kind of tax abatements or tax deductions have they gotten already? And how has that affected the overall budget of the city?
Definitely, and budgeting is a big, it takes a lot to look at when you're looking at a city. Money's important.
Obviously, yeah. I mean, no, but look, what's going on right now is that I think just now maybe they've just fixed it, but the last budgets, right, we're making, I mean, they're budgeting to spend over like $368 million, but they weren't bringing in $368 million, right? So we're
losing money.
Exactly. So let's say, for instance, if you are renting an apartment and your rent is $800, but you're only bringing in $600 a month as income, right? Are you going to be able to pay your bills?
Right.
No, you can't. So that's what's going on right now.
All right. So it is Black History Month, and you did have an incident with a drinking fountain in Riley High School. Would you like to talk about that?
Nope. No. Okay, so it's the 3-year anniversary of that happened. So we were in the CT program, the radio half of it, and it was during Black History Month, right? So we realized that there were some race relation tension issues between students and teachers and students. It's unbelievable what was going on.
Right.
And it was reported too. But what we wanted to do as the kind of media half of the school was say, we can bring light to these issues, right? And so I was the project lead on that, but we really wanted to put the signs up, get the reaction of the students, and then kind of compare it to, okay, how does seeing that make you feel, when that was prevalent 50, 60 years ago, but you're seeing it today, and kind of reveal the entire dynamic of that situation. A student reported it, administration, they went and looked at the surveillance, right? They saw us doing it. I wasn't the only one that was doing it. Putting up the signs, we recorded it. There were like 4 or 5 of us. I was the one that was hit with the most disciplinary action because I was the project lead. But again, I don't mind taking accountability for that because I think it was a good cause, and because of that, I mean, the Notre Dame Center for Social Concerns basically formally wrote out to the school board, praising what I was doing from an advocate point of view. So it started discussions. It got people talking. So
I understand how it can, you can rile people up. Definitely different aspects when you see it from a different view. It changes the perspective wildly.
Do you wish that you would have done it a different way so that you wouldn't have been disciplined?
No. But my question would, and I've had a lot of people say to me, you could have done it a different way, but in what way could we have done it to get the response that we did, right? I mean, MLK was jailed dozens of times, but we're not saying, should you have done it a different way, you know what I mean?
Right. So, John, do you have a question?
Oh, yeah. My question that I have for you is that if you were to be elected officially as our mayor of South Bend, what would be the 3 main steps that you would take to put our city in a much more better and firmer financial footing? What would you do with that?
It's very simple. What we're going to do is we're going to take the sewer system, okay?
Right.
We're going to rent it to a public utility company. This will generate hundreds of millions of dollars, like $300+ millions of dollars for the city, right? Almost like the largest budget surplus we've ever seen in South Bend history, right? Take that, a portion of that. We have to fix the infrastructure because it's very old. I mean, the system's aging, right? It's not doing what it's supposed to do. People are losing their homes every year from floods because the system's not doing what it's supposed to do. Schools, homes, and businesses have lead pipes that need to be replaced, right? So there's lead in the water, but from the pipes, right? From the pipes. If you don't believe me, Eric Horvath, Director of Public Works, has said it. If you're a Mayor Pete worshiper, Mayor Pete has come out and said it December 26, 2016 in a press conference at his office, sitting next to the St. Joe County Health Officer, Dr. Luis. Mayor Pete said, homes have lead pipes. Lead's getting into the water from the pipes.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
True story. So we have to fix that part. And that's going to come from those hundreds of millions of dollars that we generate from renting the system and to fix that. Then we'll have a lot of money left over. What we're going to do is buy property along Lincoln Way, right?
Right.
And we're going to take that property and lease it to developers in the city to build housing units, right? So our plan is 10,000 housing units in 10 years, right? That's going to take the South Bend population from 101,000 to about 125,000 in 10 years, right? Which is going to be good for the tax base, businesses, everything, right?
Right.
Now, I tell you, I've talked to a lot of developers about this, about doing that. They love it because it's too expensive to build these things with the current tax rate. It's like 3% or something.
Right.
But if we're leasing it at a 1% value, and I don't want to bore you with numbers, but let's put it this way. We buy land, $500,000 along Lincoln Way. We build 200 apartments, right? That entire apartment complex is valued at $40 million, right? 1%, that's $400,000 that building is going to generate for revenue for the city, versus an entire block along Lincoln Way only generating between $5,000 to $10,000 a year, right? So, I mean, that alone increases, right, how much money that the city is going to bring in. Now, that's 200 apartments. When you're talking 10,000 apartments, then we have generating $20 million a year, which we're going to use to give to small businesses to grow and expand their businesses for job creation. We're going to have a lot of money to give to the school corporation, pay teachers more, curricular activities, arts, not just football, right? Everybody's worried about football.
Right.
The arts, the language programs, the engineering programs, having supplies for the school. So it's going to put the school corporation on top. It's going to put our small business, community on top. We can freaking house our homeless community year round, right? Instead of just during the winter when it's cold. So that really taking assets that we already own and revitalizing them, but keeping that ownership is really how we're going to take South Bend to the next level. Through the sewer system, 10,000 housing units in 10 years.
Right.
Sounds pretty nice.
Right, and what do you plan to do with homes that are already in disrepair? Are you planning on doing the same thing as Mayor Pete did with 1,000 homes in 1,000 days, or?
Well, when you start tearing down homes, then you have a shortage in your housing supply for affordable homes, right? And then again, these 10,000 homes or 10,000 housing units in 10 years are going to be market rate. So they're going to be 1, 2, 3 bedrooms at $550 to $827 dollars a month. It's very affordable, right? But we're not going to tear down homes, but we would put more money into the program to rehabilitate homes.
Right.
Which Mayor Pete's administration has already started.
And I guess my final question for today is, I know the north side is not, like I said, the north side is not the same as the south side or east side, west side. How do you plan to bridge that cultural or just the diversity of our city to include everyone? Some downtown people might say, it's better down here. It's really nice. South Bend's so nice.
Yeah.
But then they take a turn into the west side and they see all these homes. How do you plan to include all those people?
Are you talking about making their neighborhoods better?
Yes.
Well, it goes back to the money, right? We have more money in the budget. We can have more money to revitalize neighborhoods. That's why renting the sewer system and building 10,000 housing units, because it brings in more money, right, is really the key aspect to taking South Bend to the next level and making the roads better, the neighborhoods better, the schools better, making South Bend better.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just a big old network of different things.
Exactly.
Connected together. All right, thank you so much, Shane Inez, for
course,
coming on Buzz
of
in the
course.
Bend. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We hope to tune in. Hope you tune in next week on Friday, and we'll be right here. Thank you again, Shane Inez.